my story, I have had firsthand experience in dealing with a mistress. So, if you're a married woman, listen up, because a mistress to some famous married men is exposing warning signs that your man is messing around. Please welcome the author of Having an Affair, A Handbook for the Other Woman, Sarah Simons. Hi, Sarah.
Before you go any further, who are these men, these famous men?
Well, the only two that have been exposed so far, Jeffrey Archer, who's a well-known author and politician, UK politician, and Chef Gordon Ramsay.
And
Gordon Ramsay, the chef?
Chef Gordon Ramsay. Now, this is an alleged 7-year affair.
He's in hot water now.
Yeah, and we have to say alleged. We have to say alleged. It was an alleged 7-year affair with Chef Gordon Ramsay. Now, Gordon Ramsay has denied the affair. And then you've also been the other woman in several relationships. She said the other one was Jeffrey Archer, who's
the only two so far that have been exposed.
That have been exposed. So, I just got to ask you this. What? You are a beautiful woman. You are, I believe, successful.
Yes.
Why on earth are you going for married men?
You know what? I didn't actually go after married men. It wasn't on my agenda to seek out and date married men only. But at the time, they were the guys asking me out. They were the guys that I was dealing with and meeting with every day in my job, which was a very intoxicating world. I worked in international PR, marketing, so I was in a kind of playboy, sort of fell in with the wrong company.
It doesn't make it right. There were no single men for you?
None of them were asking me out, no.
But when you found out that they were married,
dating the married guys.
When you found out that they were married, did it something at that point when they somehow either slipped that they had a wife or you found the wedding band? At that point, did you say or feel bad for the woman that they were married to, or say, you know, this isn't a good idea?
You know what? To be honest, some of these married men who are cheating, which is the premise of why I'm here, because I want wives to know the kind of lies that some married men use when they cheat. Right. They give such good stories. I mean, some of them will even tell you they're not married, or they're separated, or their wife is dying, or if you've got some terminal. It's really sick, some of the depth of deceit these guys go to. But with me, I mean, I never had a relationship with the wife, so could I feel bad for her? I didn't know her. And when you fall...
Well, as a woman, though. As a woman, you know you're betraying another woman.
Yes, but, like, when you fall into these relationships, it's such a toxic environment that you're so busy, or I was so busy dealing with my own emotional trauma, because it's so awful to be in love with a man that you can't have. And
you fall once, right? And then after you decide to kind of, like, continue.
I was in a bad behaviour pattern for a while. That's my old life.
Right,
and I'm trying to use my old life and my past experiences to do good now.
Okay,
I made mistakes.
Now, you got this book. It's called Having an Affair, A Handbook for the Other Woman. And you give advice not only to mistresses, but to wives who suspect that their husband is cheating. And you say that men go to mistresses because they're not getting sex at home. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. But is that the real reason?
Is that true for you too?
That's what I was told.
The wives need to just have more sex with their husbands to keep them, right?
I mean, you give me your opinion.
The guys that I've been with and the guys I've researched in my book use that as their #1 excuse. They're either not getting enough sex or they're not the right type of sex, whatever that is. But it also goes deeper than that. And then they fall into an emotional pattern. You know, there's a huge physical, emotional, and mental connection. And so, obviously, at home, there's voids that they're seeking to fill elsewhere.
Maybe they just know that they can do it all, and they just want it all.
I'm mad as hell that guys are getting away with it all. They are, in an affair. In an affair, a man is the one having it all, period.
No, actually, everybody is suffering. But here's my question. Has this happened to you? Have you been on the other side of this yet?
I've not been married,
where you are, or somebody you went out with is happening?
Not to my knowledge, no.
I want to know, but does it ever kick in of you are with a married man, that there's a family that could be broken up, there's a lot of pain and hurt that may be caused by this? I mean, does any of that...
You know what, Sherry, if he's not cheating with me, he'll be cheating with somebody else. A man makes a conscious decision.
Justify it in your head?
He's the one who's breaking his vows. They're not my family. I'm not trying to sound cold and heartless here, but he has given me so many reasons as to why things are so awful at home. His wife is a terrible person.
Right.
You know, all
why
the things.
Doesn't he get a divorce?
Exactly, and that's my mantra. Get out.
Well, you know, most people aren't right now just based on the economy alone, but a lot of things that many married women, I think, are also concerned just on a physical health basis of their men having an affair, going out and sleeping with somebody else and maybe bringing something back home.
So how selfish is that of the guy? I mean, it's so selfish of him.
So what do you, and you also give advice to the mistress as well. So what advice other than, okay, don't expect the commitment from a man who can't even commit to his wife? What other advice do you have for her?
My main advice to mistresses, or would-be mistresses, and other women, it's the same term, mistress and other woman means the same thing. Don't do it, and if you're doing it, get out. However, it's a free country. If you are going to go down that path, never fall in love with a married man. That's when it becomes toxic.
What about this? You say that the mistress and the wife should have respect for each other. How so?
I say that if they know about each other, and many wives do know that their husbands are having affairs, and they turn a blind eye. So that's why I'm here, to try and break the hypocrisy of this.
Well, I just want to know, okay, we got women who are sitting out there married to their men. We think that they think they're very happy, everything's going good. What would you tell a what would you tell a woman? Are there warning signs? What do we do? What are the
first warning sign is if you're suspicious. If you are suspicious that your husband might be having an affair.
So if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck.
What else?
I like the word rat or dog.
What else could you tell a married woman?
Oh, if you're beginning to feel suspicious, then do your due diligence. You know, if he's avoiding late nights, coming home late at night, if he doesn't want to have early nights with you, if there's a general sense of he doesn't want to be with you, you know, if you're sitting down having dinner and it's a nightmare because you've got no conversation, you can tell when somebody doesn't want to be with you. Yeah. But my main tip is if he suddenly wants to help you do his laundry, out of the blue, he wants to help you do his laundry.
Compensation acts, you're saying? Like, oh, they feel bad about something, so they're trying to cover their
because he wants to check. He wants to clean up the evidence. Lipstick stains, other stains.
Lipstick on the
remember the navy dress? One other thing, have you ever fallen in love with any of the married men that you've been with?
Absolutely, and that's when it becomes so toxic. But I only ever really fell in love twice, and I only ever wanted one of them to leave their wives, but I ended up calling.
What about Checkmate? You know, there are these organizations that will look into this type of thing. Do you recommend that? Because that's real, like getting a detective.
Oh, and I do some of that because I have so many wives writing to me now, not only asking for advice on how they can stop their husbands cheating, but signs to look for, and could I even go out and help them?
I just got to ask you this before we go. Just because you think it's happening does not necessarily mean it's happening, and your suspicions could make it happen if you're not careful.
But you can also be too careful. You can rest on your laurels.
But you can rest on your laurels, but if you tell people to go check, why not just say to the man, do we need to split up? Why not just have the conversation outright?
That's what I did.
Yeah, woman to husband.
Well, you know what, Whoopi? I think it's in a man's DNA to cheat. I really do. And
wow.
Doesn't that give them an excuse a little bit to justify them?
It depends how good or bad their relationship is.
Let's not give them any excuses for what their DNA is.
People couldn't float. So we're trying to figure out what the truth is.
I don't agree with that, but it's all right.
This is very controversial. Wow! For more information about Sarah Simon's book, check out our website. We'll be right back with the Real Housewives of New Jersey.